Yep. It's about that time. What's in my camera bag 2019? I don't think I did it 2018. I didn't.
Everything is alright.
So I asked a question on my Instagram a little while back, and I had a little bit extra time that day, so I was gonna make an extra YouTube video outside of my 30-second Thursday, because I do that every Thursday, as you probably know. I wanted to do something a little bit longer, so I requested, all right, like, what are y'all interested in seeing? And a lot of people came back with, hey, what's in your camera bag for 2019? And what's in your camera bag for beginners? All kinds of stuff like that. So I'm gonna take y'all through what's in my camera bag. I've never really understood like the whole what's in my camera bag. Like, if you see what I'm shooting with, does that mean you're gonna go out like get the same thing, or does it inspire you to save up to get the same thing that I have? You can create really good work with whatever gear that you have. And I'm sure if you've been following my YouTube videos, you kind of have an idea of what I have in my camera bag. Nonetheless, let's go through it, and hopefully this is somewhat entertaining. So first off, I wanna say, ooh, man. This is not all of my camera gear. I don't bring all my gear to every shoot. Now, if I'm going for a shoot, or I'm going for a vlog, or to make a video, this is mainly what I bring. Now, I might add or remove some things on this depending on what it is I'm gonna be shooting, but this covers about 80% of my bases. Microphone, Rode Videomicro. Not that expensive of a microphone. Now, I do have the Rode NT-G3, which I'm filming this on and recording audio on right now. But for all my basic stuff, all my basic audio, unless it's interviews or something really high quality I need to capture, this does an extremely good job. And at a price point of only like 60 bucks, like, you cannot beat the quality. Now, I'm gonna pause this right now. For those that don't know, I'm actually having to send my Sony a7iii into Sony. I'm trying to find a perfect time to do it, because renting a Sony a7iii is gonna be like $300 a week. But basically what happened is I was on a shoot actually at Opa Greek Taverna shooting a video, and randomly my left mic jack went out. So it records left and right audio channels. The left one stopped working completely. So I'm gonna have to send that in to Sony. It is under warranty, barely. Like, the warranty is another like 3 months. It takes about 7 to 10 days to fix it, is what they told me. And then it's the shipping time and everything else on top of that. So I am not looking forward to doing that. That means I'm gonna have to backtrack and use my a6300, or spend $300 a week to rent another Sony a7iii, when I shouldn't even have to do this. Like, really disappointed that this happened. It's my first problem with a Sony camera, so I guess I can't be too upset, but it is gonna disrupt like my workflow during, I'm getting busier and busier with work. I'm not getting slower, so I need my gear. All right, so next up, lenses. Lenses, one of my go-tos for like everything that I do is the 16-35 Zeiss F4 lens from Sony. I love it because, I mean, it's 16-35, so it's a fairly good range. It's very good quality. This glass is fairly expensive. It's gonna be around $1,200 to $1,300 to buy this lens. It is the F4. I mainly do a lot of shooting outside, and if I am shooting in low light, I can still crank up the ISO on my Sony a7iii. Everything's fine. I did a whole review on this lens, which is my most viewed video to date. So if you wanna check it out, I'm gonna link it right here. Yeah, I think it's over here. So we got that. All right, next up is another one of my favorite lenses that I use almost all the time, the Sony 85mm 1.8. This lens is not terribly expensive. It's about $600, but the quality and the semi-telephoto range you get with this, like, this lens I use on about 90% of the things that I shoot. So it just looks super good. You get a good compressed background, so gotta love that. All right, next up we got my Dji Mavic Err. Really awesome drone, super run and gun. I take it like if I travel anywhere, I'm bringing it because it fits right in my backpack. Now, I have had some problems with like firmware updates, and when I'm going out for a shoot, the remote controller randomly stops working and stops connecting to the drone and my phone, and a bunch of madness, but overall it's worked about 90–95% of the time. So it's a great drone, shoots 4K, 100 megabytes per second. So if you're looking to get a drone, this is a good one. I bring this to all my like real estate shoots, vlogs, business films, weddings. I mean, I use this all the time. Maybe at some point get the Mavic Pro 2. Next up, lavalier mic. I always bring a lavalier for a backup audio source. This one is fantastic. It's the Tascam DL10, something like that. It's really awesome. Look it up. It is about 120 bucks per microphone, but it's really cool because it records onto the microphone and you don't have to deal with receivers or anything. Then you can just sync up the audio in post, or if you just need the audio, then it captures really good quality audio. Next up, I always carry about like 3 or 4 of these by Magic Fiber to clean lenses, ND filters, whatever. This one's Magic Fiber. They're pretty cheap on Amazon, and I honestly don't like dealing with washing them. Like once it gets super dirty, I just like throw it away. I don't know. Some people wash them, some people don't. Got a backup battery for my Sony a7 III, which I'll have to be sending in. Still not happy about that. ND filter. I have a variety of these. I have one that goes on my 85. I have one that goes on my 16 to 35. Now for this lens, I do use a regular, not a variable ND, just a regular ND. It could be higher. I have an ND8, but I can always increase the aperture if I need to. But with a wider angle lens, if you use a variable ND, you're gonna see like a X, like some banding X in the middle of your image. And that looks really weird, unprofessional. So if you're gonna use an ND filter on wide angle lenses, make sure it's a regular ND and not a variable ND. And then also I have my Dji Mavic Err ND filters and polarizers. Helps keep the footage looking super awesome. Then I got some step-up rings so I can use my ND filters on other lenses that I have and not just 1 or 2 of them. It doesn't fit in my camera bag, so I just carry this everywhere. Scion Crane V2. It's held up really good. I've had it for probably 1.5 years now. It's worked really well. I've had no problems. I have this Manfrotto quick release plate on it, so I can boom, boom, run and gun, just snap it on, snap it off, and put it on my Manfrotto monopod, and it's awesome. Keeps the footage looking super stable. The batteries also last a super long time. I'm very impressed. If I was to get a second gimbal, I will probably be getting the Romeyn S, but that won't be for a little while for sure. I have my Zoom H4n that I'm recording on right now. So that's just my external recorder that I can plug in professional quality microphones. It supplies phantom power, all that. But that's pretty much everything that's in my camera bag for 2019. Again, this isn't all the gear that I have. This is just what I mainly use when I go shooting. I know you're like, Justin, why you only got like 2 lenses? Well, I mean, I use these for about like 90% of what I shoot. Now I do have other lenses. If I do need them, I bring them. My Sony a6300 is my backup camera that I'm about to have to go to because of this mic jack problem. If you have any other questions about camera gear, tutorials, anything at all that has to do with filmmaking, I would love to hear from you. Drop me a comment down below, and we'll see you guys on 30 Second Thursday. Stay tuned.